Great, Anthony here with Prairie Brain Canine Academy in BC again. I'm switching Mr. Kygo over to a Halti for a little bit to get his nose more involved and be able to guide his eyes and his nose and stuff. So I want to show you what the conditioning process to that looks like. As you can see, he's trying to paw at it. He's trying to be pushy. From the back up here, I just put it on him right before I filmed this. I figured I'd grab my iPad and show you what that looks like. So I'm going to guide him so you can kind of see. So to get him to sit down, a little pressure on the leash, sits down, off. Now he might paw it a few times, and maybe a lot, who knows, we'll see. But I'll let him paw it a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. I might have to tell him to knock it off, something like that, but you'll kind of see the journey with me here. So I'm all about tools. Whatever tool works best for the dog and owners. I don't have a certain one that I require everyone to use. I like to be flexible because different dogs and owners require different things, and different tools help different people. So I'll just sit down here so you can see me a little bit more. Tools were invented for different reasons, right? Every tool was different. No. Was invented for a different reason. Haltis were designed to move livestock, right? You wanted a way to move a very large animal in the softest way possible, because if you stick a harness on a cow and ask it to go somewhere, it's not going to go anywhere. There we go. So he's trying to be pushy there with laying down, so that's why I got him back up again. Or if you put a flat buckle collar on a cow or a horse and you want to move it somewhere, not going to happen. Once you have the relationship, the tool is just there as a safety net. So you can put anything. So once you have a relationship with the horse or the dog or the cow or whatever it is, you don't need a tool. The tool is there just as a safety net. But the tool acts as a way for you to get there. And get there in a way where you build trust, you build respect, you build that relationship where the animal trusts you regardless of what it is: dog, cow, horse, donkey, doesn't matter, sheep. So this just will allow me to guide his eyes, stop him from staring, guide his nose in the right direction in a soft way, because where the pressure point is it's under his chin here. So when I want to move his head, I can do this and move his head. Whereas a slip lead, a pinch collar, flat buckle collar, the transitional I was using doesn't allow me to do that. So normally what would happen here is a lay down would be accepting something. For him, it's not. It looks like he's in a relaxed position and accepting things, but what he's doing is pushy. And he's being pushy with it, saying, "No, you want me to sit? I'm going to lay down." And now if I wanted him to lay down, he would sit. So there you can tell, wrong state of mind, because he's starting to paw at it again. So that's why I'm all about tools. It doesn't matter what it is. E-collars, pinch collars, slip leads, flat buckle collars, harnesses, flexi leads. Doesn't matter what it is, there's a place for it. Things I don't use are harnesses, and flexis 99% of the time. The odd time I'll use a flexi with an e-collar conditioning a dog, but very, very rarely, just because it makes it more simple sometimes, depending on the dog, with the flexi as opposed to a long line. But yeah, so that's why I don't use those. And harnesses are designed to make dogs pull. I want to teach them to not pull, and a harness is a very hard tool to teach a dog not to pull on. So he's being really disrespectful, leaning into me. What he's doing is playing his cards. He's like, what's going to work for this guy to let me do whatever the heck I want to do? And get in my way. And so he's tried pawing. No. Pawing, that's not working. So there, he was going to nuzzle into my arm and give me a little nip. That's a big no-no. You don't put your teeth on anyone. And that's worked for him in the past. So again, he's standing, so pressure up. As you can see, I'm not, maybe the camera angle isn't catching it right, but I'm not putting his head way up in the air. I'm just holding his head up a little bit. So the goal is not to push him way up in the air. Like when he's laying down, I pushed up to get his head up, to get his body to move up. But to get him to sit down, just to raise that head, the pressure of the head, that's all. I don't know if you can hear him panting, but that's him getting super, super tired because he's using his brain. And he's, I've blocked the behavior of him flighting, running away, or fighting it, stuff like that. So that energy has to go somewhere. And this is exhausting mental work. I'm all about draining your dog's mental energy over physical, because by doing this, we're making him smarter, more self-sufficient, and calmer. So I'm not even going to bother switching sides. You'll kind of, or maybe I will, so you can get the camera angle. But if you see, he's not relaxed whatsoever. His mouth is really closed unless he's panting. So very, very tense body language. You can see one of his ears is back, one's perked straight up. His pupils are super dilated. Every tool is great. They're designed for different things, so keep that in mind when you're deciding what tool you want for your dog. I find usually with a Halti, you get the most fight out of a dog, or flight. Usually it's fight because it's softer. It's a pressure point mom used. So mom, when she had babies, if her dogs were kind of acting up or being a bit too much, see there I could guide his head, right? If they were acting up a bit too much, she would take her mouth and put it over his snout and hold there till he relaxes and then release. She's not biting, she's just putting pressure there. So her teeth aren't there to cut his skin, it's just to add pressure. So it's a natural calming place for them. That's why I like it. So now I'm going to start moving and you're going to kind of see what that looks like. So this is just day one, first time. It's nothing fancy. But I want him to understand pressure release. With this tool, I want him to be able to be calm and relaxed and with me with this tool before we add distractions. So if he can't be calm and relaxed with me outside with this, the inside with this tool, with no distractions, it's not going to be fair for me to ask him to be calm and focused with distractions outside, where there's way more stimulation, like dogs, cars, people, garbage, a lot of scents, a lot of sounds, a lot of sights. So he's going to be a little bit more used to this than a lot of dogs because I've had a transitional on him, so he has had something over his nose. But the way I guide him is different, so that part will create a bit of a different experience. So there I can move his head. So the reason I'm moving his head is I'm trying to tell him in a way he understands that I want you with me. If you're driving a car, you're looking forward, right? If you're riding a bike, you're looking where you want to go. We're not going to the left, we're not going down, we're not going up, we're going forward. There's all that brain work. He's going to be super mentally exhausted after this. So work smarter, not harder. Drain your dog's mental energy so you can have a smarter dog, and then when you want to do physical things, they're always game for it. But that way you get to learn till you're able to live with them better. You don't have to create a mega athlete. So again, I'm just going to choose a time to get him to sit down. And that was much softer than I've ever done it with him before, even though he's been with me for a few days, because it's a different pressure point. And I've also built a bit of a relationship with him. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. But even just before this, when I had it over his nose as a transitional, and you'll see in the video when we were shoveling the snow together, I had to put more pressure on him than this. So usually the softer the tool, the softer the pressure, the more fight you'll get. Lots of mental exhaustion going on here. So what I'll do is, once that mental exhaustion goes away, because that's not physical exhaustion, that's all mental. Once he's accepted that, that's also part of that fight, him releasing all of that. Once that starts to go away and he's calm, then that's when we end the exercise. So you can see I'm just using 2 fingers, my thumb, or I should say 1 finger and my thumb. That's all the pressure I'm using right now. So again, just holding his head up, sits down, pressure released. So he's looking my way, but he's not looking at me. There we go, that's better. I'm not gonna acknowledge that or pet that because he gets extremely pushy with it, as you'll probably see in the video before this with him and me shoveling the driveway. He becomes a bit of a jerk. He takes that as a chance to get his way, to do what he wants. That I've been soft and caving. So I'm choosing just different random spots to stop. No. There. So that was a bit of a firmer one. And it's just a quick, like a quick never mind and knock it off, a little jerk. That's all. Nothing to hurt him, but enough to get your point across. That's not okay. You don't play with that. Same thing with like chewing, stuff like that. If you want to chew the leash, that's unacceptable. No, that's unacceptable behavior. I worked hard to pay for that leash. Don't disrespect it. It's like someone going in your car and taking a dump on your seat. Disrespectful. So that's where we talk about the lifestyle. I want to teach manners. I don't teach obedience, I teach manners. So the reason he keeps looking at some of those rooms is because I have a couple other dogs that are taking a nap in their crates over there, so you can smell it a little bit, you can see it. If you notice, if the camera's catching it, you can kind of see his face is still fairly stiff. His eyes aren't relaxed by any means. His ears aren't relaxed. They're getting there. They're back, but they're kind of a little bit pinned back because he's processing, which is why the panting is happening, because he's processing a lot right now. So what I want is ears back but soft. They're back but stiff. He's really thinking and working hard. Was good, but this time he actually moved back a little bit when he sat, which is awesome. There you can see how it guides his head. A little bit of fight happening there. This is right between the two different rooms where I have dogs. So if you notice there, I do two different things with the leash. So if he's looking to the left, looking away from me, I use the leash to move him in, get his eyes focused on me again. And if he puts his head around my legs, instead of going all the way around here cranking, what I do is I just use my knee, the same way I would use the leash, that's all. What I'll do is I'll go back and I'll put him to the side so you can kind of see what his face and his ears are looking like as he's processing all of this. Maybe a little more challenging to get him to sit facing this way, but there, so you can see that ear is really back, really stiff, very much thinking. You see he's not paying attention to me at all. What do you mean? Once you know you've made a little progress, he's going to be kind of soft and checking in with me, looking. I normally wouldn't like a wall behind him. That gives him kind of safety net, that blankie kind of thing, bottle, that's kind of self-comforting, soothing. I want him to learn to just deal with it because it's not a big deal. Just like when it's cold outside, we have to add a layer of a jacket. It might not be comfortable, but it's going to be, wearing a jacket is less uncomfortable than freezing your butt off. So same thing with the tool. If you want to go for a walk, it may not, see, walk means a big thing for him. So it represents a lot of excitement. If you notice his ears perked up now, just from one word. That's why I don't let my dogs know we're going for a walk. Again, he perked up as soon as I said that word, because it represents way too much excitement. So then as soon as you get outside the door, if you even make it there without him pulling, as soon as you get outside, he's going to be ramped up like no tomorrow. And that's not fair. It's not fair to ask him to be in a following position with you and walking with you when you've excited his brain so much. It's not fair. Now he's looking at me like, you said walk, let's go for a freaking walk. Nope. We are walking. But we're not walking outside. So I'm sure the camera probably doesn't catch the details, but now that I keep saying walk, there you go again, his forehead wrinkles are going, means he's like, okay, let's go, come on. He's getting frustrated. He's really thinking like, let's go. And now he's paying attention to me because I've said that word, and he's like, okay, you keep saying it, let's go, human, giddy up, get to it. So that brain word processing. She's in a corner to lean on, so I'm going to move forward again. This is the boring stuff that gets you to where you want to go. If you don't put the boring work in first, you can't get the reward as quickly. So my kind of rule of thumb is if you can't get your dog to walk nicely in your own house with you, wherever you want to go, making loops around your house, it's very unfair to ask him to walk calmly with you outside. So take it step by step, make it less frustrating for everybody. If that means that you spend an hour or half an hour or 20 minutes doing this inside the house and no walk outside, no big deal, because it's going to happen in a couple days. And then he's going to walk like a freaking rock star. And you can go wherever you want. You don't have to avoid things and stuff like that. You have more walks when you want to and be able to relax when you don't have to go for a walk. Or if it's really cold, you can walk in your house if you want. And again, I'm saying the word walk, so now he's paying attention to me. Other than that, he's not paying attention to me. So now that I know that's a trigger word, I'm going to start using that all the time. Get that word to mean nothing again. That word means a lot to him. Just because he's associated that sound with an activity. Does he understand the word walk? No. But he's made that association of that word in the activity. Gotta remember, these guys don't speak English. We teach them things, but they don't understand it the way we do. They have associations. They don't rationalize that the word walk means we're moving all four legs and going from point A to point B and all that stuff. And then we're gonna go see certain things and do certain things. Move. She's getting a little pushy with space. Move. Move. The reason that's such a big deal is because it's disrespectful. And imagine if he leaned up really strongly against a toddler who just learned to walk. He could knock them over. And if that happened right where my iPad is, there's stairs on the other side, that toddler would be flying down the stairs. Or if, say you have an elderly person, and he did that very strongly, not just very softly, just brushing up against you, but actually leaned into you like he has been doing. He's getting softer with it, but if he did that to an older person who maybe had some balance issues, if they fall, it's serious business. He or she could break a hip, they could break a wrist, they could break an arm, they could break their back, right? It's very serious. So it doesn't seem like a lot, and it seems like it's cute when they lean up against you and all that stuff. You think that they love you, but it's not love. That's not what that is. if you haven't invited it, it's not a good thing. So you have to think about it from that sense. And even if you are, move this way. So even if that works for you, now you're strong enough to handle it and that kind of stuff, it's not going to cause you any damage, you have good balance, he's not going to knock you off the stairs. What happens if one day you do throw your back out? Like today I was shoveling. What happens if you throw your back out shoveling? Or you slept really funny and you got sciatica, or your knee popped out or something like that? Then he could knock you down the stairs. It could be a major deal even for you, right? So you have to think about it in terms of that as well. Always safety first and respect. Then everything else comes easily. That was better. You see, he laid down a lot softer that time. He laid down, that one ear went back, more relaxed. Even the one that's up is a bit more relaxed. His eyes are more relaxed, so that's why I didn't make him sit up again. There you go. So what we'll do is we'll end it on that note. Let him kind of have a little bit of a nap, let that sink in, because I think that's about all he's going to handle for right now. Keep sessions short. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I would have loved for it to be perfect and him to make some nice soft eye contact with me, but if he's not ready for it, that's fine. You can't force a relationship, right? You just work towards the end goal, because I know what the end goal is. We're going to get there. It's just the amount of time it's going to take to get there. That's on him, right? I can't force that. So there's no use even trying. Just know you're going to get there. Take your time and enjoy the process. You'll get there. It'll be quick. So, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you find some helpful tips with that. And that's Mr. Kygo.